Fire away.
Hey, Nick, this is your first time being a head coach in the middle of a presidential election. Given how no, seriously, given how divisive that can be, is that something that you talk about with the guys at all? Do you address it?
Yeah, no, good question, but no, I haven't.
Nick, I know beginning of the games, part of it is about like exploring, figuring out what the opposing defenses are doing, kind of information gathering. Have you had discussions about the balance of that versus attacking as you're looking to see reasons why you're not scoring as much in the?
Sure, yeah, everything's on the table. Sometimes it is to gather information, and sometimes it is exactly to attack. It's always to be able to score points. And so there is games where in generally speaking, there's games where you do both, or it's not only about gathering information, but yeah, like I said, we haven't started well, and everything's on the table, and we got to do whatever we got to do to score points.
Someone who's really big on family, what do you think of Sydney taking on his brother this weekend?
Man, I think it's things like that I think are so cool. Tristan McCullum was in that a couple weeks ago, but they both play defense. But the fact that you could get a collision between those two guys, which would, I have a lot of respect for, their Brown and our Brown, and the fact that could be a collision is pretty cool. And I think that's a special moment for their mom. I think that's a special moment for their family. I think that's a special moment for them to be able to. I'm assuming they're trading jerseys after the game. Because forever they've been on the same team, right? High school, college, and now there's an opportunity for them to go against each other. I think that's special. I think that's really special. And I'm looking forward to that moment for them after the game, because I think that's something that they'll, not only will they have their I'm assuming, I haven't even talked to him about all this, but I'm assuming that picture will be, in their homes forever. I'm assuming that those jerseys will be, they'll have the picture. I hope, hopefully our Sydney's smiling more in the picture than Chase is. But I think that's so cool, and I love that moment. I love football and the things that it can do to bring people together, and then this situation.
AJ said yesterday that the moment he was most proud of last week was the block he had on Saquon's 55-yard run. Devonte also had some good blocks in the run game. This is something that they'll have to do when you guys do run. How do you get them to buy in, star receivers like that, to buy into doing that?
I think first and foremost it's the people that they are. AJ and Devonte are just such great people that and great teammates, and they take pride in the way they catch the ball. They take pride in the way they run routes. They take pride in the way they change games with the ball in their hands, and they take pride in the way they block and help their teammates succeed. One of my favorite plays of AJ and Devonte is AJ blocking for Devonte in the playoffs in 22 against the Giants on a little bubble screen, and how excited AJ was for Devonte that he scored, and that he set the block off. And I think that again, that comes down to the type of teammate you are. And so it starts with them. And we talk a lot about team. We talk a lot about the things that it takes to be a team, and selflessness is at the selfishness is at the forefront, is the opposite of team, and selflessness is right in the same line. And so we talk all about that a lot, but again, it comes down to the type of guys they are and the type of team that we have, that they're truly happy for each other in scenarios like that. And then that's always something too that I always, as a wide receiver, and then also coaching wide receivers, there is a great feeling that you have when you set off a block, and you're like, oh, okay, I get to feel how offensive linemen feel on this particular one. And it's like, it is this great feeling that you get, like that you set a long run off because of the block that you got. It's almost as, I'm not saying it's exactly like scoring a touchdown or having an explosive pass, but it's almost on that same level.
In the summer,
Nick,
you sounded
every game-
excited about seeing Fangio game plan. What's it like this week for a matchup like this?
Say that. Ask me that one more time, Zach. I'm sorry.
Sorry, in the summer, you sounded excited to see Vic Fangio put game plans together.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's it like behind the scenes for a matchup like this?
Yeah, obviously, a fantastic offense we're going against this week with unbelievable players. A lot of respect for the Cincinnati Bengals and Coach Taylor and this team. And so, yeah, like when I get to pop into the defensive meeting and kind of look through the process of the week, it's truly a pleasure to sit in on that because there's no stone left unturned. I love the process that they go through, and yeah, these weeks leading up to these games. There's just so much work that goes into it. As you guys all know, there's so much work that goes into it, and you pour everything you have into it, and it's fun to be able to see it on both offensive side and defensive side.
Nick, every game, of course, is tremendously important, but is it any extra motivation that the Eagles have never won in Cincinnati?
I did not even know that. And you have a great voice, regardless of if it's on the radio or even asking me a question in here. I didn't even know that. Because I try not to get too wrapped up into that stuff because what does that have to do with me, really? I've never been on this team where I've been there or Saquon.
You can take the team to their first victory ever at that place.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool thing. I think before we played New Orleans, I remember someone telling me we haven't won there in like a long time. I'm like, man, well, I've never even played there as a part of the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think that's it's an interesting stat and an interesting thing. I don't think it's productive for us to think about that. It's productive for us to go, okay, hey, we're playing at a hostile environment, so we got to do the things we need to do to prepare for a hostile environment. Really, I didn't even know that until you just said that. So we're going about our process the exact same way as if we were, undefeated there. What is the Eagles' record at Cincinnati?
There are 2 ties. There's 1 tie there and 1. You've tied 2 of the last 4 games.
Gotcha. We're looking forward to the challenge.
Do one more? Sydney and the challenge that Burrow and Chase and the others present. The secondary as a whole is something that we're trying to improve over the offseason. What do you think the state of that group is right now?
Our secondary? Yeah, I think they've done a really nice job. Again, Vic does a good job putting them in positions to succeed. I think we got great secondary coaches with CP and Joe Casper and Roy, leading the way there of getting the guys on the same page. And then I can't say enough about the leader that D. Slay is. I won't say his first name. He's just such a phenomenal leader of bringing guys together. And so, Slay's done an awesome job. Reed, Chauncey back there as safeties. Coop's done a nice job. Avante's done a good job as he's filled in. Obviously as the nickel and now, in a different role. Q, I think's really done it. He's really competitive and I'm really pleased. And then I love Isaiah, Keeley, right, and our backups there as well because I know they're ready when to step in. And so, I think it's a good group with good depth, and those guys work hard and they're good players, and I'm really pleased where we are right now. But again, like I always say, you're only as good as your next game, and this game will be a challenge because of we know we got good guys on our side, we know they got good guys on their side, and that's what the cool part about the NFL. There's always good matchups like this.
What made you comfortable going with 2 tight ends last week? Just tell me real quick.
On record, you want it?
On record, yeah.
Yeah. We were comfortable with that. We felt like, we were, had the right guys in place for that week. Every week's a little bit different and with the game plan and different things like that. So